And we're live. And I just want to go ahead and say I'm going to be continuing these videos with these live streams of me going through the what do you call it again? The whole Khan Academy experience. Um, the idea is to try to see, is there actually some sort of benefit from working on something every day relentlessly? And right now, I'm actually going to go ahead and try to complete this whole thing now by just doing the quiz, which is it allows you to pick up like 820 mastery points. And I feel like if I do that, I should be well on my way to just move on to the algebra rather than trying to go ahead and do this. Now, there's a test here too. I mean, I could probably test out of it, but how many? It's a 30-minute test. The test out of the entire unit. If I do the quiz, how much time is that? I was actually still taking the quiz actually. All right, so I'm gonna do both. I actually have enough time here, and we'll put that stuff together. All right, so I think I remember doing this, and I was kind of like stuck. All right, so first off, I mean, if we look at this number here, 41.501 divided by 41 divided by 7. This has to be just like, has to be the same thing as saying, 40.5, divided by 5. Well, let's make it harder. Let's say 5.5. So if I look at this, we would basically say, I would say 40 divided by 5 plus 0.5 divided by 0.5. So what I'm trying to say is that if I could find out these two, will I be able to get the same answer for this? So if, for example, what I'm trying to get to is I'm trying to say is 40.5 divided by 5.5 equal to the answer between this. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because of the fact that it helps me to build this intuition of seeing something that's very complex and breaking it down into something that's more easy to do. Because this is not a an actual answer on the test, I'm going to just run through it. So we know 0.5 is just 0.1. So 0.5 divided by 0.5 is 1. You gotta be careful with the decimals. So we know that. So we know if we get these things, we get 9. So now I go ahead and look at 40 divided by 5 is 8. And we say 40.5 divided by 5.5. You could do this in your head too. So it isn't. So that they're not. So 40 divided 0.5 divided by 5.5 is actually this. It's about 3.6. So it's not at all. So this doesn't know. You can't do that. Okay. So that's good to know. All right. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and pay attention to doing the problem as simple as possible. Erase a lot of this stuff here. All right. So as we remember before, 4.5 41.05, 41.5015 divided by 4.7, 0.3, and divided by 41.50. Yeah, so it's not going to be that. So, I remember now that the denominator is placed up here. There's 16 times 20. It's actually 20 times 6. So it's actually 4.7 like this. Okay. So we started to figure out how many times. Now we have a decimal point here and we have a decimal point here. How do I go about doing that? Yeah, I actually remember now. I probably can't go ahead and figure out. I have to figure out how to do that when you have decimal points in the divisor and inside the numbers. So let me just quickly figure that out. It says dividing decimals in hundreds, dividing decimals 1. That's the normal way. We have the 2.5, yeah. When you have these numbers, yeah. When you have the decimal point in both, there are many ways to solve the problem. Let's take a look at the two student solutions. 8/10 divided by 2/10 is 4. Then you have here 8 over 2/5. Oh, okay. I think, yeah, you could do that too. Here we have the many ways to solve this problem. Let's take a look at two students' solutions. Student A solution. I thought in terms of tenths, where they put this is 1/10 and this is 4.5. It's 45. So that's good to know. Student B does this thing where it moves it into the 10th place. If you do that, and then you have 45 over 1, you also have that too. So that's a good option for me to use. I kind of forgot about that. So let's go back to the problem. So we have 4.7 divided by 41. Okay. So now we have that. That can also be 4.7 over 41.501. And what we want to do is we want to just 4.7 times 10, moves it to 47. And then 41.501. So what happens is that this becomes 40.01, and then this becomes 47. So what happens is that we move the decimal point when you times it by 10, the decimal point moves up 1. So basically what happens is that every 10th place, the decimal point moves up 1. So we can remember that in the future, that the decimal point moves up 1 when you times it by 10. That this way, this helps me to understand this better. So every time when I say 4.7, I times that and move it up 1. So that's basically what it is. So now we have this. We could say 47 divided by 415, and we could leave that 1 off, but that's just a tenth. So 47 goes into 450. How many times? So let's see. I know that if we had, this is 50, right? Because this is pretty close to 50, then it would go in like 6 times. So you have, but since it's less than 50, it can still go in 6 times. So we're going to try 6 and see what happens. So 7 times 6 is 42. And then 6, what do you call it again? 6 times 4 is 24, plus 4 is 28. So that's a little bit, it actually needs a little bit more than that. I mean, like we could probably even try another, probably can even try a higher number. Let's go ahead and let's do this visually. If this is 47, 47, right? That's 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's write 8. So now we have 8s, right? So we say 7 times 8 is 56. I don't know. Yes, it's 56. Yeah. I mean, like using the calculators, I don't know. It's okay. I don't feel like it makes any sense to keep so much information out your head, only what you're going to use at the time that you're using it. So 8 times 4 is 32, because 8 times 8 times 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24, and 8 times 4 is 32, plus 5. So that'll be 37. So you have 376. So we even get, could we even add one more in there? Let's see. You know, you have here, it'll be 13, 7, 11, 12. And then we have, say, 4. So it is, so we have at least 8. So we have an 8 here. So 47 goes into 415 at least 8 times. Okay. And then, so we can add the 8 there. So we have the 8. And then, so that's, yeah, so now we can, let's go ahead and do that. So we go in, there's each 8 times. 8 times 2 is 376, right? And then 376, and we have this is goes because it's 0. 15 minus 6. Well, if we have if it'd be 9, 10. So it's 9, right? And then we have here we remove that, we get 3. And so we have 39. So to make sure we check it, it works. So we remain to 39. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to use a remainder. We want the decimal form, right? So what we do, we add the 0, put the 0 back down, and we say, we don't get the 0, it doesn't go there. We bring the 0 down, and then we say, how many times does 47 go into 390? And we say 8. Right? Because and then we have that be 4. So we have 88.4. Let me see something now. 47 times 415, or 415 divided by 47. Yeah, 8. So it's gonna be like 8.2 something. So that's pretty. That's not that clean, but you might want to add. I'm going to try to say just 8.3. Yeah. So my idea is to find ways to make it simpler for your mind. Don't let the complexity overwhelm you. Figure out ways for it to make sense to you. In your world, sometimes you're going to run into some complexities that aren't necessarily easy to handle right off the bat. So and it's not about like trying to actually. It's not about trying to get 100. Focus on trying to get the best that you can get. So here we have this thing here. We know that this is pretty much like this. 3, 6, 9, right? Because 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. Since we didn't get to 10, we don't go to this area, so it's going to be 0.9. 0.9 is just like 9/10, right? And here it's saying you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what do you call it again? This is each slab is basically 1/10 or 0.1. And then this whole thing here would be 0.3. And then this whole thing here would be one whole. So now we have this one here. We're going to do the expression matching. So we have matched each expression to its product. So it wants us to kind of go ahead and look at each one. So I want to pay attention. I don't want to really do all the math because of the fact that it takes a lot of time. So we can try to use our intuition to kind of figure out what is actually going on here. So for example, you have 8 times 27. Let's find out what 8 times 27 is first off, okay? 8 times 27. We have it again. Maybe I should do it the other way. It doesn't matter, but 8, okay, 8 times 27, we have 56. Yeah, it's confusing. Well, that's fine. Let's just do it that way, see what happens. It's just like having the 27 up here, but then we say, is 8 times 7 is 66, and we carry the 1, and we say 8 times 2 is 16 plus 5. So basically it's 8 times 2 is 16 plus 5, right? And then 16 plus 5 is 21. So you have 216. So we're messing with it's just like this. 6, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, that's fine. Right. So we have that. So we know 18 times 6 is 20. So we know that 27 times 8 gives us 216. We know this for a fact now. This is our truth. Okay. But we don't know. But we know that if you add 0.4, that 27.4 is greater than 27. So our answer should be greater than this if you multiply it. So we should be looking for a number greater than 216. And so you have 216 here, and because of these other numbers here, it has something way less. It's 8/10 or 0.8. It's not even a 1. So it can't possibly be this. And there's 27 here. Then we know 27 times 1 is 27, right? So it can't be 219. So we put that there. Next thing is you have this expression here. We're looking at this number here. Which I can quickly, I think it could, can I? Yeah, I'll just do this. Okay. Okay, so now we have the next one. And the next one is we have a 0.8, right? And it says 0.8 times 2 times 74. Okay, well, if we go back to what Sal said in the actual, thing that I said that 27 times 1 is equal to 27. So if this is not even 20, this is actually like 2.7, right? It's like 3. It's like 3. So 3 times 1 is 3, So we're looking for something that has to be, this is less than 1 times, this is less than 1, this is less than 3. So we're looking for a number that's less than that. So this number here fits this description possibly. Then we have here 0.8 times 27 times 0.4. This is because there's only 3 answers here. This is the best answer. And one way I like to look at it is that we go back to our little number here saying that 27 times 1 is equal to 27. And this here is actually multiplying 0.8. So it has to be less because we have a smaller, we're dealing with a number less than 1. I need a tissue. 1 second. All right. So I got some points for that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and look at how much that was actually 20 minutes. I'm gonna actually tackle the whole exam and see how I can get through it. All right. So actually, you know what? Because that was supposed to be just a quiz. I'm gonna just end it right there, and I'm gonna go make